For the first time in history, electric trucks outsold diesel in China. Meanwhile, the global EV fleet just wiped out oil demand equivalent to 70% of Iran's exports. And BMW just dropped an EV with 559 miles of range. Today on China Tech Insider, we're covering the electric revolution that's reshaping the world. Let's dive in. This is historic. In December, new energy trucks outsold diesel for the first time ever in China, hitting a 54% market share. That's not a typo. More than half of all heavy-duty trucks sold in China last month were electric or plug-in hybrid. For the full year of 2025, China registered over 231,000 EV trucks, up 182% from the previous year. The tipping point that many thought was years away? It just happened. CATL has been pushing this hard with their Tectron's commercial battery line and swappable battery stations that can swap a truck battery in just minutes. They're projecting the commercial vehicle industry could hit 50% electrification within 3 years. Well, they're already there for new sales. Here's a number that should make oil executives nervous. The global EV fleet avoided 1.7 million barrels of oil consumption per day in 2025. That's 70% of what Iran exports through the Strait of Hormuz. Energy think tank Ember says if we replaced all imported oil used in transport with EVs, we could cut global fossil fuel imports by a third and save $600 billion per year. The shift is already happening. 39 countries now have EV sales above 10%, up from just 4 in 2019. Vietnam hit 38%, ahead of the EU at 26%. Thailand reached 21%. And China crossed a major milestone. EVs made up more than 50% of new car sales for the first time ever. With oil prices spiking above $100 a barrel due to the Middle East conflict, China's decades-long bet on electric vehicles is paying off massively. At current prices, China saves over $28 billion per year in avoided oil imports thanks to its EV fleet. Europe saves about $8 billion, India around $600 million. Here's the strategic reality. China spent $300 billion building its EV and renewable energy industries. Now, while other countries scramble to limit fallout from Middle East fuel disruptions, China has a buffer. Half of new cars sold in China are EVs or hybrids. About a third of new heavy-duty trucks are electric. Chinese demand for refined oil actually fell last year for the second straight year. Energy experts are now saying China's oil consumption may have peaked. BMW just revealed the new i3, and it's setting records. 559 miles of range on a single charge. That's the longest range of any EV currently on sale in Europe. The new E-Class platform with 800-volt architecture means it can add 249 miles of range in just 10 minutes of charging. The battery is a 108 kWh pack using new cylindrical cells in a cell-to-pack design. BMW says orders are full and reaching well into this year. And here's the China connection. A long wheelbase version will be built in China for export to India, Thailand, Indonesia, and Malaysia. The 9.3 is already being built in double shifts at the Hungary plant because demand is, quote, significantly exceeding expectations. A third of all new BMW EVs ordered in Europe is in 9.3. Rivian just revealed full specs for the R2, and it's going head-to-head with Tesla. The Performance Launch Edition delivers 656 horsepower, 0 to 60 in 3.6 seconds, and 330 miles of EPA range for $59,000. The base model coming in late 2027 will start at $46,000 with 275 miles of range. What makes this interesting for the China story? American EV startups are finally delivering competitive products, but they're still playing catch-up on price. The cheapest Rivian R2 is still more expensive than a loaded BYD Seal. This is the competitive landscape Chinese automakers are entering as they eye Western markets. The bigger picture emerging from all these stories is a fundamental shift in global energy security. For decades, oil was the Achilles heel of the global economy. 79% of the world lives in countries that import oil. Every $10 increase per barrel adds $160 billion to global import bills. But EVs are changing the equation. Electrifying transport could cut fossil fuel imports by a third. Every country has enough renewable resources to meet that demand with domestic wind and solar. The irony? The current Middle East crisis may accelerate EV adoption faster than any government policy could. When gas prices spiked to $2.30 per liter in Australia and $5.42 in California, suddenly that EV looks a lot more attractive. China saw this coming. Now they're reaping the benefits. That's your China Tech Insider update for today. Electric trucks outselling diesel, EVs crushing oil demand, and China leading the charge while others scramble. The energy transition isn't coming. It's here. If you found this valuable, hit subscribe and the bell for daily updates. Drop a comment with what topics you want covered. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you tomorrow.